Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Maxwell. I'll be your instructor this year for AP Economics, and I'm recording this brief overview of how to work around the site so that you'll know how to come in for the first week and do the assignments that you need to complete, and all of our assignments are due by Sunday at midnight. So as you come into our Blackboard site, you want to make sure you see the menu options that are off on the left-hand side. And most of your work will happen in these first few buttons. It'll always come into announcements, and hopefully you're getting those already. There's a course calendar and then course materials, and course materials where almost all of your work will happen. So I'm going to take you first to course calendar and take a quick look at that. It'll have the entire first quarter, and I'll start uploading the second and third eventually, but I just wanted to have you take a look at this really quickly. You'll notice there isn't much in this calendar except for which lessons are due. So for this Sunday, lessons 1 and 2 are due. And to get to those lessons, then, what you're going to have to do is come over here to where it has course materials and click on course materials. You'll see a couple of options here, and in the whole first semester, we'll be working on AP Microeconomics. So go ahead and click on that. And then we have a number of units that we'll work through over the coming few months. The first one being Unit 1, Basic Economic Concepts. So as we go into that, the first lessons that we're going to have will be on mods 1 and 3, and they're all contained within this lesson 1. So I'm going to just go ahead and take you through that and do what you will do on a weekly basis as far as getting work done. When you first come to this page, you'll see that it has kind of usually 3 or 4 things on the actual lesson. We're going to click on this in just a minute. There are reading questions that you'll do after you've completed all of your work. And when you do problem sets, which we'll talk about in just a moment, you'll complete those and then upload them using this link. And then at the bottom here, it reminds you that you have a chat session every Wednesday from 8:15 to 9:15. So I'll go ahead and show you the work that you're doing on a weekly basis here by clicking on Course Materials. And this is the page where most of your work appears. So this is where you're going to be working. If you take a look at this, it goes step 1 through, how many steps do we have? 5 on here? We have 4 steps. There we go. And the first thing is a group of readings, and these are out of the Krugman textbook. There are PDF copies of all of the topics that you'll have for this lesson, and we'd like you to read those, take a look at the vocabulary, but we also offer a video, and Mr. Foose, who's a teacher at James Madison, has done a lot of flipped classrooms and puts his videos online for us. He also teaches another one of our online classes, or another of our economics classes. And if you just take a quick look at that, you'll see the video will pop up. It's in YouTube, and you'll hear his voice, and I'll cut him off. So you can find throughout the year what works best for you. I suggest, and just from my own lessons from my in-person class, the folks who both kind of read as well as watch the videos do the best in the course and tend to have the best understanding. But you can find out which works best for you, whether you like to read or watch the video. It does not matter to me. Throughout the week, you'll be working through that, making sure you've done your reading. You'll come down here to step 2, which are your online activities, and these will be similar each week. In this case, I'll go ahead and click and open it. It's a problem set based on the things you've seen in the video and the readings that you've done, and what you do is work through this problem set. Sometimes there are PDFs like this. Occasionally there may be Word documents you can actually edit and put your answers, but either way, you need to have your answers in a file. So you can do kind of the low-tech / high-tech way, which would be to print this off, do all the answers on the paper, and then take some pictures of your finished product, and those will get uploaded. Or if you have the ability to edit an Acrobat file and maybe save it as a Word file, you can do that as well. I'm going to close this down. So that was under online activities and the problem set. Once you've completed that, there's a place to upload that back here on the first Blackboard tab, where you have Lesson 1 Online Activity, and that's where you upload all files that you've completed. Now I'm going back to the lesson itself because I want to make sure you know of one thing. As you work through those problem sets, you're going to have the chance, after you finish, to come down here and post 2 questions you have from the problems if you have any issues, and respond to at least one of your class's threads in our discussion boards, which are weekly discussion boards that you'll need to do to get full credit in this class. Now, I want to make sure you know this. We also provide a problem set key, which gives you the answers to what you'll be working on. The goal is not for you to get the answers and try to finish. Your goal is to try to work through that problem set. Post on the discussion boards any problems you had, and see if anybody can help you. And at the very end, you can check your problem set key and make sure you have everything correct, and then submit back here on Blackboard, or back on Blackboard. So now we've worked through 1, 2, and 3. There was one last thing I do want to show you. But step 4 happens kind of in the midweek for us. It's Wednesday. We'll have our 8:15 and 9:15 chat session where we'll go over any problems you might have had with the assignments that you have, any problems from the previous week, and I plan to bring in some articles and other items and other activities that we can do to bring the concepts that we're working on during the week to real life, so that we can take a look at how economics actually plays out in the real world. So just quickly, it's step 1 to step 2, which is go ahead and do your reading, watch the video, do the problem set, and then upload that. You can check your problem sets, and then we have the chats. I'm going to take us back to Blackboard now and briefly show you a couple of other things. Right here where it says Lesson 1 Online Activity, I'm going to go ahead and click on this. This is where when you've completed your online activity for the week, the problem set, saved it as a file, you'll come down here and hit Browse Computer and upload the file here. That's part of your weekly work. All right, I'm going to go back one step here. So after you've done all that work, we don't call them quizzes in this case for the individual lessons. They are reading questions to go with the problem sets and the reading that you've done, and you must complete this Lesson 1 reading questions. You get 2 chances. You get a pool of questions. There's a pool of questions that will pop up. Depending on which section it is, it may be 10 to 15 to 20 questions to kind of check your work, check your understanding. If you go through it once and you don't like the score that you received, you can come back through it again a second time. It will not be the same questions because they pull from a number of different questions, but this gives you a chance to do it twice. So you have 2 chances for those reading questions. Right, I was trying to do this in less than 5 minutes. It's taking a little bit longer. Again, the reading, just after you've read, after you've done your upload, and after you've done your reading questions, please remember to attend class. I'm going to go back one last step. And in the case of the first week, there are actually 2 lessons that are due, so you'd have to go through Lesson 2 as well and work through all those problems. At the end of any unit, in this case it's Unit 1, Basic Economic Concepts, you will see an exam pop up for you, and you'll get a chance to work through that. Now, I just realized in this recording I left edit mode on, which is good and bad. You get to see what I see, but the good news is most of these buttons on the bottom here will not be there for you, at least to begin with, and the buttons you mainly have to use on a weekly basis are right at the very top. I hope this has been helpful. I'll see you on Wednesday night, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me at dtmaxwell@fcps.edu, or we'll talk in person. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on Wednesday.